हे प्रभु मेरे परम सखा मेरे परम सखा।
Hari Om. We'll start the class. We'll chant the invocation. ॐ सहना अवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We'll chant verses from 11 to 20.
मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासम् सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयम् दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितम् भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयम् ग्रसिष्णुप्रभविष्णु च ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावायोपपद्यते प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव विद्यनादि उभावपि विकारांश्च गुणांश्चैव विद्धि प्रकृतिसम्भवान्
We'll today do the 16th verse. We'll chant the 16th verse.
One question, sir.
Pardon?
I got one question. Can I ask?
Yes.
So last time we discussed about faith, which was at the intellect subtle level.
Yeah.
Then we discussed about Shraddha, which means you go to the end till you reach it.
Yeah.
We discussed about conviction, which is at the gross intellect level.
Yes. Conviction
I forgot one thing, sir. Where does trust fit in?
They are very similar words. I trust you means it is very similar to
trust in the scriptures, trust in the Guru. That's what I meant.
That is also synonymous to faith only.
So it will be at the subtle level.
Yeah, you can say that. Right. It's very similar to faith only.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. We'll do the 16th verse.
Sorry, sir, there's some issue with the screen share. Can we just chant the verse? I'll try to put it up.
Pardon?
There is some issue with the screen share. Can we just chant the verse? Yeah.
Okay. Bahirantascha bhutana acharam charameva cha sukshmatva taddavigyeyam दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तद्विज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत्. 16th verse is without and within beings, the unmoving and also the moving, that is incomprehensible due to subtlety, and that is far and near. Again, we are continuing with the question that what is it that is to be known. So he's already given a few indicative definitions as to what is to be known. Now he continues with certain more indications as to what is it that is to be known. It cannot directly be told the way we can talk about in our day-to-day thing that I want to know how to play cricket. So cricket is something which you can describe, know, experience in some way. So I want to learn cooking. That also you know what is your objective. It is clear at your perception level. Also it is clear. But Atman is totally unknown. It's totally in the dark. Only thing you know that there is something. So you're watching into a very dark room, pitch dark, nothing is known. But you know in that dark room there is something and you're searching for something. What is that cannot be described with reference to the room where you are, which is fully lighted, that it is like this gramophone, it is like this sofa set, it is like this person, it is like this painting. It cannot be described. So the person who knows what is in the dark room is trying to tell you what is there, but he cannot tell you because there is no reference point. Understand? I can explain to you how Switzerland is with some reference point. If you go to Kashmir, if you go to Missouri, something like that, and the mountains, Himalayan ranges, if you see something like that, if you have visited a European city, then you can compare it and explain to him. With comparisons, you can explain to him that what it is. But here there is nothing to explain like that. Some indicative definitions are there. For example, he's said so many things. It is shining in all the senses, hands and feet everywhere, unattached yet supporting all, etc. He is giving you certain indicative definitions as to what it is, but he is unable to actually tell you what it is. So if you pursue and try to think about it, contemplate upon it, how do you understand it? How do you reach it? How do you know it? That which is shining in all the senses. So here he says, without and within beings. It is outside also, it is inside also. So what is it that is outside you also and inside you also? It is everywhere. Example, I say it is inside your room also, it is outside the house also. So what? I was saying space. Space is inside your room also. Space is outside your room also. So Atman is not only within me. That reality, God is not only within me, it is without also. So if I have experienced something in me, but which is not elsewhere, then that is not Atman. So he is cautioning you and telling you, if you have experienced something, let us say you have experienced affection inside you, but it is not outside. Outside there is hatred, violence, then that is not it. If you have experienced the truth, it will be there everywhere, even outside and inside. You will feel it inside, you will feel it with outside also. You will experience it everywhere. To understand that reality is not confined to a person that Krishna is realized, so that reality exists in him. No, it exists in you also. It exists in a buffalo also. It exists in the mountain also, in the trees also. Everywhere it is within and without. And it is unmoving and also moving. Atman is, you can't say it is just there. Even the moving things are Atman. The unmoving things are also Atman. For example, the train is moving on the tracks. The train is moving, but the track is not moving. If I tell you what is steel, then steel is there in the track also, steel is there in the train also. The wheels are moving. The wheel is made up of steel or iron or whatever. The track is still, that is also iron. So it is moving and unmoving. In the inert things, jad cheez, that which is incapable of moving, which is not conscious, there is no movement. But that is also the expression of that reality. So it is moving, it is not. You cannot describe it as Atman is still. Atman is still also, it is dynamic also. It is both dynamic as well as still. That is incomprehensible due to subtlety. So here he is giving you a very direct hint or understanding that Please do not try to capture it with your intellect. Intellect cannot understand it. Intellect can only indicate it. It can only point out. You can awaken, there is something. Like a scientist says, there is something. So he goes about trying to discover it. But what he discovers or what he invents is within the view of the intellect. So the question is also within the intellect, answer is also within the intellect. But here the answer is not within the intellect. Question is within the intellect. What is that reality? What is it? There is something missing. I don't understand it. Something is missing. So this question comes. When this question comes, the inquiry starts. And when inquiry starts, then you start searching. Then you start studying Shastras, meeting people who understand the truth, who are Mahatmas, Rishis. You go about trying to understand the answer. Do you understand? The question is within the intellect, but answer is not within the intellect. In science, the question is in the intellect, the answer is also intellect. I can explain you what is the composition of water. If you ask me, what is water constituted of? What is the chemical composition of water? So it can intellectually be explained to you. It's made up of hydrogen and oxygen or whatever it is. But if you tell me what is reality, now question you have conceived. Through your intellect you have conceived. The answer, the intellect says it can only direct you there. It can direct you, but it cannot actually tell you. You cannot understand it at an intellectual level. It dawns on the, Atma understands Atma itself. Jiva cannot understand. You have to transcend. You have to transcend your limitations. Intellect, mind, body, they are all intellect. They are limited equipments. So ultimately, with your inquiry, kahan hai, you will, supposing you have to, a person staying in Bombay says, where is Pune? Now he's searching within Bombay, where is Pune? He goes to different suburbs, Bandra, Santa Cruz, Andheri, various places. He goes right from Nariman Point to Thane, or he goes, but he doesn't find Pune. So the question is, come within Bombay, where is Pune? Ultimately, his search will make him transcend the limits of Mumbai. And only then he will find that Pune is there. It is within. So his search started within Mumbai, but it made him transcend the boundaries of Mumbai, and only then he can reach Pune. Similarly, the journey starts within the body. That is called known to the unknown. I think somebody was asking a couple of classes back. Known to the unknown. So you start from Mumbai only, and you cross various suburbs, and pushte after asking, you ultimately cross Bombay and then ultimately reach Pune, which is not within Bombay. So you ask the question, the intellect asks the question, what is the reality? What is God? What is that supreme truth? But the search will ultimately make you transcend. It is so subtle. It is subtler than the subtle. It is incomprehensible due to the subtlety. So spiritual evolution means you are transcending the grossness of your personality, the gross layers of your personality, and ultimately your space, pure space. When the rocket goes towards the moon, it ultimately crosses the gravitational and the air boundaries of the earth. It goes into pure silence, quiet, beyond air. There's no air there. There's no gravitational pull there of the earth. So it goes beyond. It is, similarly, the very search will help you transcend the intellect, transcend your personality, transcend all the limitations that you have set around yourself. So understand. That's why in the Upanishad it says, he who says he understands, he doesn't understand. And he who says he doesn't understand, he understands. Why does he say like that? Because it is not an understandable thing. Atman, you cannot say, I have understood, now I'll tell you what it is. It is a experience. Brahman alone understands Brahman. The ice cube has melted into water and it has become water. You cannot say, what about the ice cube? Ice cube, the essence of ice cube is water. So the more it melts, the more it understands what it is. Ultimately, it dissolves completely. So there is water inside the ice cube, there is water outside the ice cube. Solidarity, let us say ice cube is of 2 inches by 2 inch. Ice cube is there. This solidarity. But around it is not solidarity, it is all water. It's floating in water. So it questions what is water. Though it is water, it is in water. We are consciousness, we are living in consciousness, we are existing in consciousness, but we are asking what is consciousness. Just like an ice cube is asking, living, it is water, it is living in water, existing in water, but it is asking what is water. The very inquiry will start dissolving the ice cube. It will become clearer, understand. So it becomes more and more liquefied. Ultimately, it will dissolve completely. Then it's merged. Brahman knows Brahman. Brahman has become one with Brahman. It is one only. It has understood its identity. So that is incomprehensible due to subtlety, and that is far and that is near. If I ask you, how far are you from God? Oh, you say it's a long journey. I don't know how many janmas it will take me to reach God. No, He is right there, and yet He is very far. He is very far. So God is right there, but yet He appears very far. He is far also, He is near also. So those who know Him, for them, He is everywhere. He is near. For those who don't know Him, He is very far. And also another way of saying is, He is far also, He is near also means He is all pervading, everywhere. If you say where is space? Space is right there within you, around you. Is it there in Africa? Yes, it is there in Africa. Is it there in Mars? Yes, it is there in Mars. Is it beyond it also? Yes. It is far also, it is near. At once, it is far also, it is near. At once. So your friend may be near you, or he may be far away from you. A country may be near you, or it is far away from you. But this is simultaneously far and near. It is all pervading, everywhere. So that which is far and near, it is incomprehensible, it is moving and also unmoving, it is within and without. So these are the things which you have to contemplate upon, think upon, and the very contemplation and inquiry will lead you towards the transcendental. So in Zen and Tao and all, they have these small stories, koans, or what they call. They are very funny types of stories. It makes no sense actually. 5, 6 lines, 10 lines stories, but they are very funny. Teacher tells the student doesn't understand anything. He's supposed to contemplate. It's like, what is the sound of one hand clap. Two hand clap, you understand. But what is the sound of one hand clap? The student doesn't understand. So he says, go and think. The very thinking process makes him one day it clicks. Oh, this is what my teacher meant. Oh, okay, okay. This is what. See, in the beginning, it sounds very funny, sounds very strange, sounds actually it sounds nonsensical. But the problem is we want to remain within our level of understanding. It should make sense to me. I don't want to grow out of my logical way of thinking, my logical. No. That's why geniuses are known as mad people. They are not mad. They appear mad to an average man because he doesn't understand what he's talking about. Most of the geniuses, most of the saints, Ramatirtha, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and many other saints, people used to think they are mad. What are they talking? How are they behaving? They are not able to relate to it. So, you want that everything told to you, you should be able to relate to. Only then it is logical, sensible, and all. But truth you cannot relate to. If you are so intelligent that everything is told to you, you understand. So they give you a jolt. They make you break your barriers of thinking. They push your boundaries until this, whatever logical sort of a network that you have made around you, you have to think beyond it, push beyond it. What is it that is far and near at the same time? What is it that is moving and unmoving? What is it that shines through everything? So these are riddles. You cannot resolve it. And the more you inquire, the more you think about it, the more you begin to break those hardcore beliefs that you have created inside you. You feel this world is so solid, so real. Everything is so solid and real. You are so given into the fact that this world is a reality. But when you start contemplating, everything starts dissolving, breaking. And in its place, the reality begins to emerge. Reality begins to. This reality which you start understanding and which you start whatever experiencing within yourself, this is not communicable easily to the other person. It can be only communicated in riddles. It can be communicated in a language which is not easily comprehensible. Even if you read science and all, sometimes language becomes very difficult. It's all sine, theta, tan, cosec, I don't know what all they say. It's very difficult to understand what they're saying. The barriers of language start breaking, and therefore you are trying to explain something which has no reference point and which cannot be explained within words. So you start talking in riddles. ऐसा है नहीं 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 ऐसा है नहीं 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 ऐसा नहीं ऐसा है वैसा है. It becomes very confusing. You're not able to explain, though you are clear inside you, but you're not able to explain it. So you give it in riddles. Mantra is told, like Upanishad mantra is given to you, or these verses are given to you. You have to contemplate upon it, think upon it, and slowly the reality begins to dawn within you. Then we'll do the 17th verse. We'll chant it. I'll chant it. Okay. अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णु प्रभविष्णु च अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं Graseshnu Prabhaveshnu Cha. Undivided and yet existing as if divided in beings, and that which is to be known is the sustainer of beings, destroyer and creator. Further goes on. Undivided and yet existing as if divided in beings. For example, many examples, common examples are given. Clay pots are so many number, so many pots are there. Pots are different, one pot, two pot, three pot. And they may have different shapes and sizes and colors. But the clay is same. Clay is not different. The underlying, that which sustains this, supposing you make a sculpture, Michelangelo made David sculpture. So a man is standing there with whatever in his hand, something. Whole thing is nothing but stone. Everything is nothing but stone. But he has a head, he has a nose, he has eyes, he has ears, he has a body, he has a stomach, he has the arms. Everything is there. All different differentiations are there. A complete human being. But it's nothing but stone. Similarly, different clothings are there. It's nothing but cotton. Underlying it is cotton. Don't get carried away by the design and the color and the form of the dress. Underlying it is cotton. So that which is undivided, from a big wooden panel, you carve out a beautiful chariot in which Krishna is standing. So Krishna is standing, Arjuna is sitting, standing behind, and horses are there, reins are there. It's a beautiful picture of Krishna carved out from a piece of wood, big wood, 5 feet by 2 feet wood. Beautiful carving is there. Now you say there is a horse, there is Krishna sitting with the charioteer, there is the umbrella under which Arjuna is standing. The chariot wheels are there, everything is there, but nothing, it's all wood, wood, wood. Similarly, everything is consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Everything, it is undivided. So you have to find that which is undivided. See, if you look at the earth, globe, what is a globe? When we look at a globe, it is different types of countries. India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, etc., etc. Goes on and on and on. Different continents are there. But this is only man-made. Oh, we have crossed our border. We have gone into Nepal now. Or we have crossed our borders. We have gone into Bhutan now. This is, you have made. There is no crossing border. It's all one land. Now we have crossed Asia. Now we have gone into Europe. No, this is man-made. This is Arabian Sea. This is Mediterranean Ocean. This is one body of water. You have created boundaries, and now you think this is this sea, Red Sea, this is Black Sea, this is Dead Sea, this is all types of seas you have made out of it. This is a mental construct that I am different from you, you are different from me. It is that truth. If you want to know the truth, if you have known something which is divisive in nature, me and you, he and she, this and that, if what you have landed up, what you have concluded is divisive in nature, then you have not hit upon the truth. That's not the truth. What is the truth? I don't know. I cannot tell you, but it is not divided. That is all. Everything you look in the world is divided. This planet, that planet, this galaxy, that galaxy, etc. Everything is divisive, appears divisive. It appears, it is not divided. It is known as that which is known is the sustainer of beings, destroyer and creator. A very good example of this is the wave. The wave exists in is nothing but water, is sustained by water. A wave is sustained by water, which is the ocean. It is created by water and it is destroyed and becomes water. So these three forces which exist, which are personified in the Hindu tradition as Mahesh, Shiv and Vishnu. Now Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. They are personified as that. They are the three processes which are happening. But these three processes appear to be creating something and creating these divisions. But actually they are not divisive. Now it depends where is your attention. If your attention is on the divisiveness of it, then you miss out the substratum. If your attention is on the substratum, the divisiveness doesn't make any sense. It is of no meaning. Depends how divided you feel. Like, for example, if you're in India, if you want to go from one state to another, you're allowed to go. There is no restriction. Everywhere you are known as an Indian and you can go from one state to another. You want to go from Maharashtra to Gujarat, you can go. But if you have to go from India to Pakistan, then there are restrictions. Then you have to make a visa or whatever, get permission, etc. Special permission. If you want to go to England, again you have to go through a process. Because there is divisiveness. Even within India, some divisiveness is there. Now I've crossed Maharashtra, now I'm going to Gujarat, now I'm going to Tamil Nadu, now I'm going to Kerala. The divisiveness is there. But it's not so divided. You can still go through without any restrictions. But if you go to another country, then it is. Because your attention is on divisiveness, therefore there is divisiveness. If two countries, like in Europe, if you're a European, you can go from one country to another country, you don't need a visa. You just go. You take your car and drive through. The boundaries are broken because the oneness has been achieved. Now, as you grow, spiritually evolve, all the boundaries begin to fall away. And you realize that even the most people with whom you have the most differences of opinion, whom you think they are totally, completely your enemies, you can't stand, they are also one with you. There's no difference between them and you. How can black and white be the same? How can good and bad be the same? How can hard and soft be the same? How can cold and heat be the same? But in reality, it is the same. Same. Where there is truth, just as an illustration, they show now, some rishi is sitting in an ashram and around him many animals are sitting. Both the carnivore and the herbivore, both are sitting around him. Tiger is also sitting, deer is also sitting. Everybody becomes very peaceful. Everybody becomes very accepting. Everything becomes very one. But from our point of differentiation, from our point of self-centeredness, it is inconceivable. We cannot understand. How can I love even little of differences? I make an enemy of another person. I become a hardened enemy of the other person. Little difference I can't stand. And truth, if you cannot stand, if you cannot break differences, if you cannot bridge differences, so when you come to know the reality, when you are getting closer to the reality, you see, like one of the qualities of Bhakta, he hates nobody. He has compassion for everybody, he loves everybody. He hates no being. But what about his enemies? No, he has hatred for nobody. That means he is a bhakta. That means he is unfolding the self. That means the divine element is now getting expressed within himself. The divinity is exposing itself within himself. We may read the scriptures, but our experiences show the differentiation. If you are one team, let us say there is a play going on, and there are 15, 20 members taking part in the play. You have the role of Ram or Sita, whatever, and one person has the role of Ravan. Everybody plays his role very well, and the play is a stupendous success. Everybody is very happy with the performance, and you all are also very happy with the response you get at the end of it. And what do you do after the play? You go and congratulate each member of the troupe and say, very well performed. Now, will you exclude Ravan? You will not exclude Ravan. You will not exclude Kumbhakarna. You will go say, wow, what a performance, wonderful. Because you are one team and the success of each one is a collective success, adds to the collective success. You understand that? If Ravan doesn't play his role properly, the play will not do well. He has to also behave and play very beautifully, very nicely, very effectively. Then the play becomes a great success. If Ram doesn't do his role properly, then the play is not going to succeed. So everybody, whether it is Kekai, whether it is Kaushalya, whether it is Dashrath, whether it is Mantra, you will congratulate everybody. Wonderfully played, wonderful performance. Because you see oneness with them. You are one team, there is oneness. You do not start developing friendships and enmity with other characters because in the play they are playing a negative role. You do not develop that. You know the reality, you know the truth. You do not get sucked in by the character you are playing. No, Lakshman is my good friend, but Ravan is not my good friend. No, they are all good friends. So unless that sense of oneness starts developing inside you, that's an indication you're moving towards the truth. Your dealings may be in the play, you will still shoot arrows at Ravan and ultimately appear to kill him. But inside, you are congratulating him. Very well performed, wonderful, wonderful. And you embrace him, and everybody is friends. So, whatever your outward dealings are, inside that sense of oneness is there. If you see the substratum, the divisiveness doesn't have any meaning to you. It doesn't affect you. If you see the divisiveness, the substratum is lost. If a man tells his wife, let's see how much gold we have, can you go to the locker and get, let us see and assess how much gold we have. So the wife says, okay. So she goes to the locker, opens it and brings the jewelry box and keeps it before the husband and they sit down. The husband said, I didn't ask you to get the jewelry. I want to see what is our thing about gold. He says, then the wife will only look at him blankly. What are you talking? This is gold. This is what we have in terms of gold. But I didn't ask you for jewelry, I asked you for gold. Now that doesn't make any sense. Life will only look stupefied. What is wrong with this man? This is the gold we have. This is gold. But because the attention is on the form, name and form, so you miss out on the substratum. Now, whether gold is in the form of jewelry, whether it is in the form of a cutlery, whether it's in the form of a carving, whatever it is gold. So when our consciousness gets molded in thoughts and feelings and forms, I am different, you are different, he thinks differently, we are not able to bridge and see oneness underlying because we are so caught up with our opinions, with our ideas. We cannot stand people with different ideas, with different tastes, with different cultures. We cannot stand them. Because we are so divided ourselves and our attention is so much of divisiveness. First, you used to have joint families. Then you had families. Now you have members. Each fellow has to have his own room. Even husband and wife have to have their own rooms nowadays. पहले तो joint families, 20 people used to stay in the same house and quite enjoy themselves and comfortable and all. Now they make sure before getting married, nobody else is staying. Only we both are staying. And after sometimes even we both are going to stay on our own. You go your own way, I go my own. That is the type of divisiveness. We become totally isolated. Instead of inclusiveness, we become totally excluded. So you're not moving towards oneness. You're not moving towards the reality. Reality cannot be explained, but it can be pointed. If you feel that oneness, and the more you feel that oneness, and ultimately you will feel that oneness even with the most staunchest enemy of yours. That means you have understood that reality. What is that reality? Nobody can know. But your outward expressions, your outward feelings, your outward conduct, relationship with the world will show the fact that you have understood the reality. Though it is indefinable, it cannot still be defined. But your material equipments will function in a way, your mind will function in a way that we say he is a realized man. He doesn't see difference between what is it? Earth, stone, and gold. One of the verses in 6th chapter says there is no difference between earth, gold, and stone. Why? Because his attention is not on earth, gold, and stone. If a Ram statue is made of wood, he is equally devoted to it. If it is made of stone, he is equally devoted to it. If it is made of gold, he is equally devoted. Because he sees Ram, he doesn't see the gold or the stone in it. It is not that the more precious the metal is with which the statue of Ram is made, the more devotion will come into you. That means you are materialistic. You are only seeing the gold and platinum and things like that. You are not seeing the Ram. Ram may be made in a very funny way, carved out of a stone or a wooden piece. But the person is so devoted because it stands for Ram. He sees Ram. He doesn't see it is made up of a precious stone or it is made up of just wood. From the materialistic point of view, from the worldly point of view, there is a difference. If you go to a jeweler and show him a silver statue or show him a brass statue or show him a gold statue, he will value it differently. Understand? He will give you a different price for a gold statue, he will give you a different price for a silver statue because he is not interested in the statue, he is only interested in the value of the metal. But a devotee, for him, silver, gold, and brass or wood doesn't make any difference. He sees Ram. So when he sees Ram, he feels so devoted, he so oneness with it, feels so identified with it. He is not looking at the metal, he is looking at Ram. Everything is Ram. So in that sense, gold, earth and stone are same for a man who realizes that oneness, that supreme person. So that undivided vision, when we develop that undivided vision within ourselves, the world appears pluralistic. It appears pluralistic, but it is one. And once you recognize that truth, that means you have recognized the truth. What is the truth? That I don't know. Cannot be told. But your conduct, your vision, your perception will indicate that you have recognized. So he is giving that indicative definition over here. We can do the 18th verse. ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसा परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसा परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम्. The light even of lights, that is said to be beyond darkness, knowledge, that and that which is to be known, goal of knowledge, seated in the hearts of all. So many more definitions. Light of even of lights. If you go into a dark room, you can't see anything. You can't see the tables, you can't see the books, you can't see the beds, lamps, nothing you can see. But when you put on the light, you can see the articles and various things lying in the room. Now the question is, by you see the lamp lying there because you have put on the light. You can see the wall because you have put on the light. You can see a person in the room sleeping because you have put on the light. But how do you see the light? What enables you or makes you see the light? You say nothing. Light is self-luminous. You can see it by itself. No. To see that light, there is some power, there is some consciousness. That which makes you aware of that light is light of lights. This earthly light, you need to see other objects, but to see light, what do you see? What is it that makes you conscious of that light? That consciousness which enlivens the light of lights, the knowing of knowing. How do I know? Enlivens my mind, enlivens my intellect, enlivens everything. That light of lights. So my knowing itself is enlivened by it. I know it is enlivened. That which is said to be beyond darkness. Everything becomes known to me. There is no confusion. There are no questions. There is no doubts left in your mind. Having known which, all doubts are cleared. You know everything. Then everything is clear, but moment you see everything is clear, but that means you have not recognized the truth. All ifs and buts disappear by knowing the truth. It is the knowledge of all knowledges under substratum, denominator of all knowledges, knowing which everything is known. And to know anything, that is the enabler. If you know anything today, if anything is cognized by you, recognized by you, it is because of that. So knowing which is the light even of that is said to be beyond darkness. So no questions, no doubts, no confusion is left once that is known. See, however knowledgeable you are, all the libraries, books, knowledge of all the libraries is put in your head. Even then, it is not even a drop in the total knowledge that is there in this universe. And every wise man knows that. Every wise man knows. Newton knows that I am just a child picking up pebbles on the seashore, while the ocean of knowledge remains undiscovered. He is a wise man. हमारे जैसे नहीं है कि प्रोस्पेक्टस पढ़ के भी हम बोलते हैं हाँ आपको बहुत कुछ आ गया, आप तो भैया साडा मुंडा इंजीनियर बन गया प्रोस्पेक्टस पढ़ के. Even if the whole knowledge of all the libraries is put into your head, you will not go beyond darkness. Ignorance will still lurk inside you. Ignorance will still be there. Void will still be felt by you. That void, which is it that forces us into trying to know, trying to accumulate, trying to achieve. It is the void inside you, but the void doesn't go. Ask the richest man, are you absolutely fulfilled in life? Absolutely. In all aspects? No. He still wants to do something. He wants to do social work. He wants to do this work. He wants to do that. He wants to achieve something here. There. He continues. Ask a very learned man, is the void gone? He feels completely satisfied. He may be resigned to his fate. That's another thing. But nobody feels that sense of satisfaction. The void remains. Void remains. So how does that, like wherever you go, your shadow goes with you. How do you get rid of that shadow? पीछे 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 जहां भी जाओगे shadow तो जाएगी. You try to scrub it, you try to wash it away, clean it, put water over it, buckets and buckets of water, but the shadow remains. You try to cover it with a blanket, the shadow comes over the blanket. You can't get rid of the shadow. As long as you are away from the source of light, either you get into darkness, then the shadow goes away. But then everything is under the shadow. Everything becomes dark. You wanted to get rid of the little bit of blackness, your shadow, and you switched off all the lights. So you fell into the whole thing came under shadow. Whole thing became dark. Moment you put on the light, the shadow comes. Brighter the light, brighter the shadow, darker the shadow. So this is a knowledge, knowing which the shadow disappears, the void disappears. It's very interesting. How does this void disappear? I've become the world champion, I've got recognitions, I've got accolades, I've achieved so much name and fame. Yeah, some satisfaction is there, but the void is still there. Void is still there in some form or other. And sometimes it is even greater than an average man. It is felt even more strongly. Very interesting. He says, having known that light of lights that is said to be beyond darkness, immediately that darkness, that feeling of incompleteness, feeling of non-fulfillment. You may be earning 50,000 rupees a month only. आजकल ज़्यादा नहीं होता है. But you will feel the sense of satisfaction. Not with reference to maybe you might find it difficult to run your house, but inside you will feel a sense of satisfaction. Or you may be earning in millions and yet be very disturbed, very unhappy, very dissatisfied. Possible. Because this Void which inherently is there, it is there inside you, inherently. Whatever creativity you might involve, these are distractions. They don't remove the void. When you get away from that activity, again the void comes back. It is very much there. You can lose yourself in reading novels, you can lose yourself in making friends, going to discos, earning money in work. These are distractions. They are not solutions. They are distractions. No, if I gain so many degrees, the void will go away. No, if I become like this, no. The void will go immediately away the moment you gain that knowledge. So if you do not feel a sense of void, no darkness, no confusion, nothing, no dissatisfaction, that means you have known the Atma. You have established yourself. That is one of the definitions. That is the solution to that sense of incompleteness and dissatisfaction within yourself. I think we'll conclude the class for today. We will say our mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti